Hello guys, welcome back to Beyond the Realms, and today I'm going to be reviewing a new film that just recently got a release on DVD and Blu-ray entitled Frankenstein's Army. I've heard a few people talking about this recently, and it sounded like it would be a fun movie, so I decided to check it out. I was going to pick it up, and I found it on Vudu, so I just went ahead and rented it on there. Decided to go that route first. But this tells a story of some Russian soldiers during World War II who are in Germany fighting, and they get a distress signal from this person calling themselves Tiger Bear 303, and they're really confused as to who this is. It doesn't make the distress signal doesn't make any sense to them. That name doesn't make any sense to them. But, they keep calling and they keep saying, we can't hold on much longer. So they decide to go and find these people and, figure out what's going on. They're given the coordinates of where they're at, so they look it up on a map. They figure out that they are in this, it's supposedly this church that's in this village. So they go there and they find out very quickly that this church is not a church at all. It is actually a laboratory for Dr. Frankenstein, which is Victor Frankenstein's great-grandson. Of course, Victor Frankenstein is who made the legendary Frankenstein's monster. This is his great-grandson, and he is making these experiments for the Nazi army. And, of course, all hell breaks loose for everybody involved. The first thing with this movie that I noticed, there's a heavy bluish green tint to everything. I'm not sure exactly why they did that, but it did give the film a unique look. Whether good or bad, I'm not exactly sure on that. But there takes a big suspension of disbelief in certain things in this. First of all, we're talking about, 1945. I'm pretty sure they didn't have HD or widescreen then, but this film does have both. And, the technology just wasn't around then. And not only that, but the Russians in this movie speak English throughout it. They're not speaking in Russian whatsoever. And they're all just talking amongst themselves in English. It takes some suspension of disbelief, and the plot is very, very thin. That's really the only plot to the movie. That's really pretty much the story, because once they get there, all hell breaks loose, and it just doesn't take very long to get going. I think genre fans are going to really like this film. If you're into really awesome creature design, creature effects, very, it kind of reminded me of like Reanimator in a way. The Dr. Frankenstein in this was very Herbert West-like at times. Just crazy and over the top. The guy that played him was very good, I thought. None of the characters, you don't care about any of the characters in this film. Really, there's no good guys in this. Even the Russians that you're following, they're bad guys too. I guess there's just darker shades of bad guys in this, but you don't care about any of them, and really that doesn't matter, because of, this is all about the set design, the production design, the creature design, the effects. This is just an effects-driven movie, and I can gladly say I did not see 1 ounce of CGI in this film whatsoever. Everything, I'm almost completely 100% sure that everything in this was practical, which was awesome. There's a lot of really good practical effects in this. There's an assortment of different types of monsters. There's these guys that have like lobster claws for hands. This one that has, pretty sure one of them had like a gun for a face. There's one of them that walks around. It's like this, just like this big metal ball with legs with these Nazi symbols on it, no arms. And one of the coolest ones had this airplane-like engine blade for a head that was just spinning. It was really cool. There's all kinds of awesome stuff like this. And there's one guy that's walking around like on these, like, I don't even know what the hell they are. It's like stilts, but it looks like creature legs. He's got these creature arms. Everything's very steampunk looking. And there's tons of gore and, craziness in this. And, another cool one, there's this woman's head. It's just a head laying in this, like, box. And it's just, like, stapled to this teddy bear body. It's just ridiculous. And it is so awesome. But like I said, very thin on plot. Don't go into this movie expecting some, great storytelling or anything like that. The acting wasn't bad. I mean, I didn't have any complaints or problems with any of the acting. But this is just to go in and have fun with. Big, nice, awesome creature movie with some very killer practical effects. I thought that this movie was a lot of fun, guys. I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. And, I recommend it for anybody that likes practical effects and creature stuff, because you're just going to have a great time with this. I really don't see how you won't. As long as you don't go in overthinking this film, I think you're going to have a really great time. Like I said, it's available on Vudu now, on demand. I saw it at Best Buy. They had the DVD for $10, the Blu-ray for $15. That's a great deal. Now that I rented it just in standard definition, but it was $3.99 on Vudu. But I probably am going to pick this one up now that I watched it, because it's a lot of fun. It is something that I could see myself going back and watching again. It really, one other thing I have to say is it really does play out like a first-person shooter video game, because it is, and something I forgot to mention too, it is like shot like found footage. And that's another thing too that takes a suspension of disbelief, because it has that, it almost kind of reminds me of like the Diary of the Dead at the times, because there's times where this guy is shooting with this camera and you're like, why in the hell is he filming and not helping people? I remember that distinctly with a few spots in Diary of the Dead, and it's the same way with this. But, I really don't know for sure if there was a reason why he was filming at the beginning. I mean, I know towards the end there is a reason that's mentioned, but I don't think that's the original reason why he was filming. But, things like that, you've got to suspend your disbelief. And, but yeah, I mean, it works. I mean, even though it is found footage, which I am severely sick of, it still works and it's still cinematic. It doesn't, I mean, yes, it has some shaky camera moments, but it just doesn't get to be too much, I didn't think, and it still works for me at least. But yeah, it really does play like a first-person shooter, because there's times where the guy with the camera is going down hallways and you're not sure what's going to pop out, and all of a sudden a creature pops out and he runs down this other way and he sees this other creature pop out. Very much like a first-person shooter type game, which, makes you wonder how, this would really make an awesome video game if somebody decided to make it. And maybe that's the first-time director Richard Rapphorst's, maybe that's his ultimate ambition, is to get this made into a video game, because it sure in hell played like it. So yeah, guys, that is my review for Frankenstein's Army. This is a very fun movie. Check it out now, guys. I hope you all are doing well, and I'll talk to you soon. Later.